Not many people know this, but it can take just 2 seconds to steal a car, especially if it is a keyless car. In fact, in 2021, more than 932,000 vehicles were reported as stolen in the United States. That was a 6% increase from the year prior. Today, we're looking at the viral TickTock challenge that's been spurring youth to steal Hyundais and Kias. We're also looking at why keyless cars are 2 times more likely to get stolen compared to cars with traditional key locks. I'll explain how thieves do it and what you can do to avoid becoming their next victim. We're also looking at carjackings and vehicle burglaries that are on the rise. Believe it or not, motor vehicle theft is the 3rd most common property crime here in the United States. If you're wondering which U.S. state has the most number of auto thefts, well, just look at the data. You'll see that the title goes to Colorado, of all places. In fact, in 2021, Colorado saw more than 661 auto thefts for every 100,000 residents in the state. The 2nd place for the most car thefts in the country is actually our capital, Washington, D.C. Turns out that D.C. had a vehicle theft rate of 651. And in 3rd place is the sunny state of California, where we see 511 car thefts for every 100,000 residents. To put that into perspective, look at Vermont, which happens to be the state with the least amount of car thefts. They experienced about 48 car thefts for every 100,000 residents. So you can see the huge discrepancy. The 2nd safest state is Maine. The 3rd safest state, where cars might surprise you. Actually, it's New York State. Nowadays, with modern technology, many new cars come with keyless remotes. But get this, believe it or not, keyless cars are actually 2 times more likely to get stolen. You'd think it'd be the opposite, but actually it is not. So yes, keyless remotes are very convenient and practical. But the thing is, as technology advances, thieves adapt and learn new methods to their craft. In fact, there are even reports that some car thieves are using power amplifiers to boost the signals from vehicle owners' key fobs so they can unlock car doors. Here is how it works. Actually, for this method, there are at least 2 thieves involved working together. So, thief number 1 stands next to the vehicle with a hacking device. Thief number 2 stands up to 50 feet within the vehicle's key fob with a hacking device. But nowadays, there are hacking devices that are even more sophisticated, can even work within 300 feet of your key fob. Next, thief number 1's hacking device receives signals from the car. It takes those signals and relays them to thief number 2's hacking device. Thief number 2's device sends the vehicle signals to the key fob. Once that happens, the key fob is tricked into thinking that the vehicle is nearby and sends out signals to allow entry into the vehicle. Then thief's number 2 device receives the key fob signals and sends them to thief number 1 device. This then allows thief number 1's device to unlock the car. Once inside the car, the thieves can start the ignition and drive away. On average, keyless car thefts take less than 2 minutes. These jobs are pretty much silent. They don't need to break glass, which means there's hardly any evidence of a crime. But now that you know how they do it, you can understand why it's best not to leave your key fob near your front door. Instead, try storing your key fob in a metal cabinet or with a device that protects the radio signal from being intercepted. Now, especially if you own a Kia or Hyundai, you'll want to hear this. The thing is, some Kia and Hyundai models don't have an important anti-theft device. I'm talking about cars like the Kia Rio, Kia Sportage, and the Hyundai Accent. Their keys don't have computer chips for theft immobilizer systems. Bad part is that thieves already know this. And that's the reason why certain Kias and Hyundais are 2 times more likely to get stolen compared to other car brands. A unit of the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety found that Hyundais and Kias without immobilizers had a theft claim rate of 2.18 per 1,000 insured vehicle years, compared to 1.21 for all other car brands combined. An insured vehicle year is equal to 1 car insured for 1 year. The study looked at cars from 2015 to 2019 car model years. For example, when you look at the 2015 model year cars, immobilizers were standard in 96% of other manufacturers' cars, but they were only standard in just 26% of Hyundai and Kia models. Apparently, the theft started in Milwaukee area over 2 years ago. In 2021, Milwaukee saw nearly 10,500 stolen cars. Of that, 66% were the Hyundais and Kias. This Milwaukee wave of car thefts was attributed to a gang called the Kia Boys. According to officials, this spike in car theft came due to more youth being out of school, in addition to being a design flaw on some of these Kias and Hyundais. But while these thefts started in Minnesota, it started spreading to the Midwest, even as far as Colorado and New Mexico. And it was due to instructional car theft videos that appeared on TickTock. We're talking about a different kind of education here. If you're wondering how all this works, you have to understand how chip keys work. Chip keys start to show up in the 1990s. It works by communicating with another chip in the ignition switch. If the two chips match, the engine will start. But if they don't match, a thief can't start the engine with the chip. In the TickTock videos, thieves pry the ignition cover off a Hyundai and Kia car. Then they use a screwdriver or USB cable to start and drive away. Theft of Kia and Hyundai cars became so popular on TickTock that it actually became a TickTock challenge last year. In other words, youths were challenging each other to steal cars off the street using a USB cord to hotwire them. I tell you, I don't know why these kids are so bored and can't find more useful things to do. In St. Petersburg, Florida, police reported that more of a third of all car thefts were linked to the TickTock challenge. Los Angeles officials said the viral challenge led to an 85% increase of Hyundai and Kia car theft in 2022 compared to 2021. In one jurisdiction in Chicago, thefts of Kias and Hyundais grew more than 800% in 1 month. According to officials, thieves as young as 11 years old have been caught attempting the TickTock challenge. One 17-year-old suspect was arrested after police used the video and an anonymous tip to track him down. Apparently, he could face up to 22 years in prison. Later in a statement, Kia said that it was unfortunate that criminals were using social media in a coordinated effort to target vehicles without engine immobilizers. TickTock responded by saying that it does not condone behavior that violates TickTock policies, and the company threatened to remove any such videos if they were found on the platform. To date, neither Kia nor Hyundai explained why they decided to exclude theft immobilizer systems in the chip keys on these earlier models. But it is interesting to note that all 2022 Kias got immobilizers, either at the start or during the model year production. According to Hyundai, all models produced after November 1st, 2021 have immobilizers as standard equipment. And then, of course, there's carjacking, and it happens even in broad daylight. All it takes is one person with a weapon, and your car can be taken right in front of your eyes, and we're back to the Wild West. Believe it or not, since the pandemic started, carjacking has made an alarming resurgence. For example, from 2019 to 2021, the number of reported carjacking incidents nearly quadrupled in Philadelphia. Last year, Chicago had more than 1,900 carjackings, and that's the highest incidence in decades. The startling thing is that it's on the rise among teenagers. If you're wondering why carjacking is getting worse in recent times, well, there's a few reasons. First, there are supply chain problems. You mix it with inflation, and now we have cars that are more expensive than the average consumer can afford. Also, drivers for companies like Uber often stop in unfamiliar, dangerous neighborhoods. Some of these drivers have actually even been summoned to a pickup location only to be robbed upon arrival. But here's the worst part of it all. Sad to say, some 14, 12, and even 11-year-olds have been charged with armed carjacking, and in some cases even murder. More than half the people arrested on carjacking charges in Washington last year were under 18. Not many people know this, but thieves don't steal cars only in dimly lit places at night. Some thieves try to rob people while they're pumping gas, and actually it's more common than you think. A few months ago, deputies with the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office warned residents to be aware of their surroundings whenever they're pumping gas. The official warning came after a vehicle burglary occurred in the area while the victim was getting gas. Apparently, the victim was distracted by an unknown driver of another vehicle. When the vehicle burglary occurred, this type of car theft is what's known as a slider. Basically, here's what happens. So you're pumping gas. Car pulls next to your car. You assume they're here to pump gas too. So you mind your own business and you don't even look around. And you don't even think to keep alert and watch them. The driver or passenger from the other car in the meantime opens your car door or window and nabs your phone, purse, or laptop. Thefts like this were hardly a thing in the past, but sadly it is a thing now. So keep that in mind next time you're at a gas station. In fact, your best bet is to lock all doors and windows whenever you're fueling up. Another growing trend is theft of catalytic converters. Believe it or not, it takes just a few minutes to cut the steel. Recently, I made a whole video about that. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Now here's a question. Does car insurance cover car theft? Car insurance handles theft and losses in a few different ways. Your comprehensive coverage will most likely cover the theft of your vehicle. Other things it can cover include repair costs like broken windows, broken locks, or ignition problems. But here's the thing. Your comprehensive coverage only covers the vehicle itself. It doesn't cover the items inside the vehicle. So, for example, if you leave your laptop or Apple Watch in your car and then the car gets stolen, well, typically your car insurance company won't cover these items. On the other hand, if you have homeowners insurance or renter's insurance, then personal belongings in your vehicle would likely be covered. So in the event your car gets stolen with your belongings, then you'd need to file a claim with both your car insurance company and your home insurance company. Now we talked about some worst case scenarios. There are practical steps you can take to prevent becoming a victim of car theft. Of course, there are common sense, no-brainer tips like roll up your windows, lock your doors, take your keys or fob with you whenever you leave your car. Also, try to park in well-lit areas and, if possible, near cameras if there are any about. If you can park in areas that are staffed by security, that's ideal. If you have a garage, it's better to park your car inside rather than using your garage for storage and parking your car in the driveway or on the street. Also, consider installing motion sensor security lights in your driveway. True, lights aren't perfect security, but lights can be enough to make a petty theft think twice before stealing your car after the lights come on. And of course, if your car ever does get stolen, it's recommended that you call law enforcement and your insurer immediately. Data has shown that reporting a vehicle theft as soon as possible if it's stolen increases your chance of getting it back. Other practical things you can do is being your car's security and anti-theft add-ons. For example, steering wheel locks prevent the steering wheel from moving when your vehicle isn't being used. Hood locks prevent your hood from opening so thieves can't access your engine or other parts of the hood. Tire and rim locks also stop your car from moving. A GPS device can help law enforcement track down your car if it does get stolen. And of course, there's your car alarm. Nowadays, most cars come with a pre-installed car alarm. But in the off chance your car doesn't have one, it might be worth considering installing one. But now you tell me, have you ever been a victim of car theft? And were the thieves ever caught? Please share by commenting below. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support.